Good morning. I'm Judge Ryan Sullivan. I'm going to be handling the hearings today. And before we begin, Ms. Casau, are there any cases you'd like me to call early on in the docket today?
No, Your Honor.
And for the defense, are there any cases you'd like me to call early on in the docket today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then I will just proceed down the jails list. We will start with the first appearance for Patrick Black. Good morning.
Morning.
In this matter, Mr. Black has been arrested under the allegation of being a fugitive. I have found probable cause for that. Mr. Black will bring you back to court in a couple days when your criminal complaint's filed for further proceedings.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, we have first appearance for Bradford Angier.
Oh, Your Honor, he refused.
Okay, do you want to go forward without him, or do we need to set it one day?
If we could continue it one day, as we weren't able to talk with him.
All right, that's fine. So, but tomorrow morning we have to go forward with or without him.
Okay. Thank you.
Next, you're welcome. Next, we have first appearance for William Broussard.
Yes.
Good morning. Probable cause has been found and the public defender is appointed. Let's begin the bail hearing with the state.
Your Honor, the state is seeking $10,000 in bail along with pretrial services, testing for controlled substances, along with a no firearms or weapons clause. That is based on the facts of the case, as well as the defendant's very high score on the risk assessment out of 13. You can see he received those 2 points for the maximum number of points for prior failures to appear within 24 months. The defendant has numerous convictions last year for possession of drug paraphernalia, or his numerous convictions for possession of drug paraphernalia within the last 5 years. In 2025, he was also convicted of failure to appear out of Sparks Municipal Court. He was also convicted of trespassing out of Sparks Municipal Court. He's got those possession of drug paraphernalias in 2023, 2 in 2021. His last felony conviction was in 2017 for possession of a controlled substance. He went to prison on that case. When I pulled up the pre-sentence investigation report, it showed him to have 6 prior felonies, 2 gross misdemeanors, and 15 prior misdemeanors. I'm not going to go through all of those, but you can imagine that his criminal history dates back to the 1990s. So the state does believe, based on the charges, that $10,000 is appropriate with those conditions.
For the defense.
Yes, Your Honor. So any sort of bail would be de facto detention. I do understand the state's concern. My ask today would be an OR release based on that he can't afford any bail. And with that, I'll submit.
Well, he scores very highly, has an extensive criminal history. I'm just lack of stability in the community. I'm just not confident he would appear. I'm going to set monetary bail. It'll be $3,000. It's bondable or 10% cash, and Reno Justice Court monitoring if he posts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have a first appearance from Maurice Brown.
Okay. So, Your Honor, he did refuse. It looks like we were able to speak with him, though, so I think we can proceed.
All right. Probable cause has been found. The public defender is appointed. Let's start the bail hearing with the state.
Your Honor, the state is seeking $3,000 bail for Mr. Brown. We're not seeking any conditions at this time. As you can see, he scores very high on the risk assessment at a 14, again, with 2 points maximum for those failures to appear. He has 13 cases listed alone in Reno Municipal Court. He was just convicted earlier this year of battery out of Reno Justice Court, along with trespassing out of Reno Municipal Court. And then last year, again, sort of same type of offenses: trespassing, possession of drug paraphernalia, 2 of those. Another trespassing that he is under a suspended sentence for, which includes no alcohol or drugs, out of Reno Municipal Court. And then a conviction for failure to appear out of Sparks Municipal Court. Same sort of history. He does have a felony conviction back in 2019 for attempted robbery. So the state does believe a bail is appropriate based on his compliance issues and continued criminal activity. And we're asking for that $3,000.
For the defense.
Yes, Your Honor. So any sort of amount would be de facto detention, as Mr. Brown can't afford any bail. I do understand his high MPRA score. Based on the MPRA as well, it seems like it was some meth. With what was found on him was 0.8 grams of meth. So I don't know how the state's going to proceed in charging that, whether that'll be a felony or a misdemeanor. At this point, I would just ask for nominal bail or an OR release.
Well, he scores a 14. My concern is he's under a suspended sentence currently and his extensive history. I believe therefore that some bail is appropriate to make sure he appears. I'll set it at $1,000. It's bondable or 10% cash with Reno Justice Court monitoring if he posts. Next, we have a first appearance from Michael Buckaloo.
Did he come? Your Honor, so he is a refusal. Maybe we could set there, we do have a competency flag for him based on prior incidents. So maybe we could just set an interim bail and then address that later if needed.
So also the concern is he did not fill out any paperwork for the public defender's office. However, in looking at his pretrial assessment report, he indicates no fixed address and unemployment. And hearing that there have been competent concerns in the past, I will appoint the public defender to represent him at this point. And then, Ms. Costo, any objection to setting an interim bail in the case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, what's the state's recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's seeking $5,000.
All right, so it'll be $5,000. That is interim bail with Reno Justice Court monitoring, and then we can address that bail whenever the defense sees fit and depending on how the matter goes forward, given the competency concerns. Thank you. Next, we have Cheyenne Knast for a first appearance.
Yes, Your Honor. So she did waive her appearance. We did speak with her. Much like Mr. Buckaloo, we have a history with Ms. Knast and competency. So I would just ask for an interim bail at this point on her as well.
All right, and I see that she also did not fill out the public defender paperwork. However, I see from the pretrial services assessment report, she has no fixed address, she has no employment. And given that there are competency concerns, I will appoint the public defender to represent her. And any objection for a interim bail, Ms. Clausow?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, what's the state recommending?
Same in this case, $5,000 with a no contact clause with the Peppermill Casino.
All right. That's what it'll be, $5,000 bondable or 10% cash, no contact with Peppermill Casino, Reno Justice Court monitoring if she posts. Right. We have a first appearance for Eduardo Salazar. Good morning. Probable cause has been found, and Mr. Salazar indicates he's going to hire his own attorney. Sir, are you able to reach out to anyone? I do not see anybody here to represent you.
Yeah, I do have Mr. Brock. I have to reach out to him though once I get out of here.
So you've spoken to him and he knows that you are at the jail and he's agreed to represent you?
No, I have not spoken to him. I have to wait till I get out of here to speak to him.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple questions, sir. How much income or money do you make per week?
I make anywhere from $800 to $1,000.
All right, and how many people are in your household?
Right now it's just me, but I support my son.
Okay. So sir, you are close enough to qualifying for the public defender without me. I'm sure you have bills and liabilities and expenses as well. So I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You can hire Mr. Brock at any time. This doesn't stop you from doing that.
Okay.
But I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Let's begin the bail hearing with the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. State is seeking $8,000 bail in this matter, along with pretrial services supervision. We are seeking a no contact order by order of the court, meaning that it would be in place in custody as well as out of custody. We would also ask for a no firearms or weapons clause. The defendant does score higher on the risk assessment at a 9. Obviously, there was violence outlined in the probable cause declaration in a domestic fashion. He was convicted in 2024 of possession of a controlled substance. That was out of the 3rd Judicial District Court. And then in 2022, he was convicted of battery out of Reno Justice Court. Looks like he was arrested on the battery and a possession of drugs, not for interstate commerce, 2 separate cases. We did a global resolution in which he would enter and complete cap court. It looks like he did do that. He graduated in 2023 from that court. Unfortunately, he then picked up that felony not too far after that. He did have some issues while he was in cap court. He did fail to appear pre-sentence in that case, and a bench warrant had to be issued for his arrest. So it's clear that the defendant continues to have issues with substance abuse. He's got that prior battery. Now this involves violence, so the state does believe some bail is appropriate. We did speak with the victim, Miss Edwards. She said she is planning on filing a temporary protective order against the defendant. She is concerned for her safety. She said she believed the defendant had mental health, drug and alcohol issues pending. And she couldn't be here today, but she wanted the court to know that she is concerned for her safety. And I'll submit it on that.
For the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. And speaking with Mr. Salazar, and looking at his MPRA score, I think it's a little bit inflated due to the employment. As he stated, he is employed. He makes $800 to $1,000 a week. He also does have a phone. So I think that, and sorry, I'm misstating because I think that's already been verified. And he does have a place to stay that he doesn't have to go back to where this incident happened. I think a no contact order is appropriate based on the allegations here. I know the state did mention some criminal history. Seems like that was a couple years ago. He did tell me that he has been sober for over 700 days now. So I don't think there was any nexus here between substance abuse as the state seemed to allude to. I do think you could order no substances. I think he would be fine with that based on the sobriety and his long-term sobriety. My ask today would just be, if you are going to implement bail, just $1,000. Therefore, he has some skin in the game and will return to court or lose that privilege of being out on bond.
He has a history of violence, including being through a specialty court, which is one of the most supervision and supportive programs we have, and then to have been convicted of a felony relatively shortly thereafter. And in this case, I believe that some bail is appropriate due to risk to the community and his score. But I'll set it at $3,000. That's bondable or 10% cash. No contact with Amanda Edwards, sir. That's effective immediately. No contact whatsoever, not in person, not through social media, not by text or email. And it will be pretrial services supervision, no weapons, and testing for controlled substances and alcohol. And Ms. Casso, did you intend that the no contact order to be through statute or simply just the court order?
I think the court order is sufficient, Your Honor, because she did say she is seeking a TPO. So I think that will be put in place as well.
All right. Thank you.
So $300.
Yeah.
Next, we have a first appearance for Yolanda Bonner.
For almost 2 years.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was that name?
Yolanda Bonner.
Oh, Your Honor, in speaking with her, I do have competency concerns. So I would just ask, as I have in the others, to just set an interim bail at this point.
Any objection to interim bail, Ms. Casso?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So the public defender was appointed, probable cause was found. What's your recommendation, Ms. Casso?
Your Honor, the state's seeking $1,000 in bail with no conditions.
So that's what it'll be. It'll be $1,000 that's bondable or 10% cash and Reno Justice Court monitoring if she posts, and that is interim. Next, we have first appearance for Marissa Raygoza. Good morning.
Morning.
This case, probable cause is found. Public defender paperwork was not completed. Ms. Raygoza, do you currently have a job or any income that you make?
No.
Okay, so given that there is no income, I will grant the public defender's application to represent her.
I am a student. I'm a senior
Okay.
in high school.
Okay, that's fine. Let's begin the bail hearing, starting with the state.
Your Honor, based on her lower risk assessment score, and we're not showing any adult criminal history, although she's only 18 years old, the state's not going to object to releasing her on her own recognizance. We are asking for monitoring through pretrial services along with a no alcohol clause.
So I hear that you have no criminal history. I'm going to release you, Ms. Raygoza, but let me be very clear. Your case here is not over. And
Okay.
if you miss the next court date I'm going to give you, then you can be arrested again for not showing up to court, okay?
I understand.
So make sure you're here. The next court date's going to be April 2nd at 9 a.m. I understand you may live in California, so I'm not going to include any other conditions, but you have to show up at court and stay out of trouble, all right?
Okay.
So make sure you're here on that date. Do not forget, or else you'll just find yourself in jail, and next
What?
time you could be ordered to stay there.
What time?
9 a.m. And
9
your
a.m.
attorney will write that down for you. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
April 2nd at 9 a.m.
Here? To this place or?
Nope, Reno
okay.
Justice Court. It's downtown Reno.
Okay.
All right.
They're gonna give you paperwork when you get out to.
And then, Judy, I don't see, did I skip Valerie Garcia or was she moved for some reason?
So, Your Honor, she waived her appearance. She is on the calendar.
I believe I may have just wanted to add on.
Oh, okay. So I'll just wait a moment.
Sorry, did I set her on the for tomorrow? She should be on our calendar now. I apologize.
That's okay. I'll refresh it. Okay, now I see her. First appearance for Valerie Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor. As I said, she waived her appearance. We can proceed.
All right. Probable cause has been found. The public defender is appointed. Let's begin the bail hearing with the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. State is seeking $3,000 along with the condition of no contact with the victim per court order. We're not seeking that per statute, but that is based on her risk assessment score of 8. But more importantly, the fact that she's on probation. She's on probation currently for an eluding and possession of a stolen motor vehicle. She was sentenced on that case in November of 2025. She is not supposed to be consuming alcohol or using controlled substances. In this case, it appears that she was under some type of substance when she committed this act. Other than that, she's got some minor or misdemeanor convictions in 2025 for obstructing and resisting, minor in possession of alcohol, and trespassing. Again, the most egregious is that she committed this act while on probation. So the state is asking for that bail and that single condition.
For the defense.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand Ms. Garcia is 19. She does not have any money, so any sort of bail would be de facto detention. I do understand she's also been on probation. She did tell me she's homeless. So any sort of bail is going to be problematic for her. We were able to speak with her mother. She told us that she doesn't know where she lives or that she's working. Ms. Garcia did tell me that she was working at temp agencies as she can. But apparently there's also some mental health issues at play here based on speaking with her mother. So I'd ask for nominal bail. And with that, I'll submit.
Well, she's very young to already have a felony and beyond supervision by parole and probation. And this allegation certainly is disturbing. There was blood all over the vehicle from her, and the videos that she sent and the destruction. Clearly there was some kind of substance, drugs or alcohol, which, as Ms. Kossow stated, she's not allowed to be using. So I think that some monetary bail is important. She also has a hold from parole and probation, but I will put the bail at $3,000 due to the risk to the community. That's bondable or 10% cash. No contact with Montserrat Zaragoza, and that's effective immediately. And then the other condition I'm going to impose is she's got to comply with parole and probation if they release her hold and she posts this bail. All right, council, I think that was it for this morning. Did I miss anybody? Any questions, clarifications needed?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Have a good day.
You
Sure.
too.